next heading at level 1. Exit NVDA dialog. What would you like?
All right. No comments yet. Comment mode is default.
What are the other choices?
This, I have comments and chat settings that I could pull a down arrow on, but
Well, let's see.
I hope I wouldn't mess anything else up, you see.
Yeah, I understand.
One,
But
excuse me, one viewer. Let's see.
That's you.
Okay, I'm going to try it. Comment moderation has community managers 0, blocked keywords 0, banned from stream 0, suspended, banned from all live streams, profanity filter, medium, featured checklist. It's not.
Oh, it didn't say. It said comment mode default. I thought you might be able to set it.
I don't know now. See, I can't get out of this.
Press escape.
That didn't work. This is what worries me. Let me see if I can go down lower and find. Oh, man. Now what do I do? I can't get back.
All right, let me see.
And it covers the chat.
Bear with us here, folks. We'll get it.
This,
I see why you were hesitant.
yeah, this stuff happens to me every time.
Oh, it's not you. It's Facebook.
Yes, it is. It's me.
Well, come on. I can't get NVDA to come up.
Well,
Are we at the desktop?
yes.
Desktop list. NVDA 212.
Little inside baseball here as usual.
Facebook, radar 1, column 1. Sort, Facebook. Clickable and landmark. Visit link Facebook. Search Facebook. Combo box. Slash desktop. Search Facebook. Facebook navigation landmark. List with 5 items. Visit link home. Link friends. Link watch. Link marketplace.
Is it still wrong?
Well, it's still on. It's covering the chat. I need it to go away.
Link groups. How to list account controls and settings. Navigation landmark. Button graphic your profile.
It
Visit link
shows
home.
how to
Program.
open it, but not how to close it.
I can't find it.
Navigation landmark. Link dashboard. Heading level 1. Button help center. Button left sidebar. Button dashboard options. Find dialog. Type the text you wish to find. Edit link. Dashboard. Main content. Main landmark. Main landmark comments. 0 reactions. 0 shares. 0 comments. 3 views.
3 viewers.
Button left toggle button.
Did that do it?
No.
Button show menu. Button left toggle button. Three views. 0 comments.
Yes, it's over to the
0
right
reactions.
of
0
that.
shares. 0 lips. Button view insights. Heading level 2 goals.
Oh, man.
Button show menu.
There's probably some real easy way.
Button left toggle button.
Escape should have done it.
Green
I
walls,
want to
distributes
go
colors,
to the
and
top of it to
Well,
look
go ahead.
again. See if I can see anything.
Maybe I should shut off the talker again.
exit NVDA dialog. What would you like to do? Combo box.
Okay, I put it back. I just hit the chat settings thing again, and now I have flip.
Oh, good.
Hi guys, sorry about that little thing there, little experimenting, and didn't pay off.
Now we're going to have to do a test session.
Yes, but we are here.
Hello, Philippa. How the heck are you? On this crisp fall afternoon.
I have Hillary Robinson. Hello,
Hello,
I can
Hillary
see and
from
hear
Northern
you.
Ireland.
And Flip says, doing fine.
Good to hear. Welcome to both of you.
I hope this thing works. And it so far is Laura Hardin.
Hello, Laura.
I am trying to get it on the Lenovo.
Yeah.
But it won't show up, my problem. And Pat is here.
Hello, Pat from
How are
Ireland.
you sis doing? He
Top
says,
of the
hi,
evening
George
to you,
and
sir.
Your wife. And Ziggy is here.
Hello, Ziggy. It's been a while.
Yes.
Good to see you.
Hi, George and Lynn. Greetings again from Germany. Good to have you guys
Good to
here.
have you all
Welcome,
with
welcome.
us.
I think we've probably got the chat thing working right since I'm seeing things. Lara says, now I got it. Very
Oh,
good.
good.
How that feels.
Yeah. I have to, I'm going to wait to see if she comes on. Let me know if Amber shows up.
Okay.
What time is it?
101.
All right. It's been a really eventful day around here.
Oh, goodness.
I had to level the fine tuners on my auto harp, and that caused me to take like a couple of hours to tune it rather than what it should have been, so that wasn't fun. And then I got on Facebook, and they had changed my page. You've been chosen to test our new page. We're not going to tell you anything about it. We'll let you stay on here for 27 hours and figure it out for yourself.
Yeah.
So I'm like, gee, we're not probably going to get to do a show today because I don't have any more idea of how to get on live with this new page than a pig does about Sunday. But fortunately, my daughter Amber, whom I called in great distress, figured out how to switch it back to the old page. It's only temporary, but I'll have 2 weeks to play with it before we have to use it again.
Yeah. But, you know. I wish they weren't so adamant about changing everything.
I wouldn't mind if they changed everything. They can do that. What I don't like, and what is beyond my comprehension, is why they don't publish a change log.
Right.
To say, hey, here's how you do this stuff now. Especially on a business page.
Well, yeah, because
You got big businesses that they're not going to like that. I guarantee you, because I did IT for a big business, and the thing we hated most was change.
Oh, yeah.
We were the last people to convert to Windows 7 way back in the yesteryear. Anyway, heck with all that. This is our 70th time to visit with you all on Facebook. And the title of this one is Home is Where the Heart Is. And it's all songs about home and family. So we're it's either got the word home or house or mama or papa or something in the title of the song that has to do with a home or a family. So we'll just start right out here with a cold drink of water. All right.
That's Lulu.
That's Lulu.
I'm trying to see if she's okay.
She does that sometimes.
She
Not
gets
nice.
older, she's making noises like
Oh, thanks, Lulu. That really adds to the...
that's
You're all right. You're a good dog. Yeah, Lulu is in here, and Sadie's in here,
Yeah, we got
and
Sadie.
Indy's in here, but he's in his crate because
Oh, he gets
he
curious.
gets
about
curious
things.
about microphones and stuff, and then they go tumbling everywhere. But
Cameras.
he's getting better all the time. He's settling down. We've got a few issues, but a lady is coming through this area to do follow-ups for people who just got out of class. And she called me to say, if you need anything, I can stop by. And I said, yeah, come on by, because we got a couple things that I don't quite understand how to deal with, but overall we're making good progress. Our first song is Lost. Let's see.
No.
Okay.
Kind of one of those days.
This was written and recorded by John Denver, and it's called Back Home Again. There's a storm across the valley, clouds are rolling in. The afternoon is heavy on your shoulders. There's a truck out on the 4-lane, a mile or more away. The whining of his wheels just makes it colder. He's an hour away from riding on your prayers up in the sky. 10 days on the road are barely gone. There's a fire softly burning, supper's on the stove. It's the light in your eyes that makes me warm. Hey, it's good to be back home again. Sometimes this old farm feels like a long-lost friend. Yes, and hey, it's good to be back home again. There's all the news to tell him. How'd you spend your time? What's the latest thing the neighbors say? And your mother called last Friday. The sunshine made her cry. And you felt the baby move just yesterday. Hey, it's good to be back home again. Yes, it is. Sometimes this old farm feels like a long-lost friend. Yes, and hey, it's good to be back home again. Oh, the time that I can lay this tired old body down. Feel your fingers feather soft upon me. Kisses that I live for, the love that lights my way, the happiness that living with you brings me. It's the sweetest thing I know of, just spending time with you. To little things that make a house a home. Like a fire softly burning, supper on the stove. The light in your eyes, it makes me warm. Hey, it's good to be back home again. Sometimes this old farm feels like a long-lost friend. Yes, and hey, it's good to be back home again. Hey, it's good to be back home again. You know it is. Sometimes this old farm feels like a long-lost friend. Hey, it's good to be back home again. I said, hey, it's good to be back home again. Yeah.
Debbie Lane is here.
Hello,
Says
Debbie.
Hello.
Welcome. Glad you could come.
Yes.
All right. This is a song about that was I don't know who wrote it, but Ray Stevens recorded it. It's called Family Funeral Fight. And this is a story about something that really happened. I know because I remember back when I used to watch the evening propaganda broadcasts, otherwise known as news, hearing about it on the news when we lived down in Huntsville, I think it was. We were already in Alabama when this happened, but this really, really happened. So here we go. They actually turned a funeral into a riot. Down there in Tennessee. Yes, sir, buddy. Let's try that again. Now, he was just a little feller. Stood about 5'3", but he caused a great commotion down in Ducktown, Tennessee. Now, it was nothing that the old man did or one word that he said. Fact is, the trouble didn't start. Trouble didn't start till 3 days after he was dead. It was a military funeral with the family gathered round, come to show the old man honor and to ease him in the ground. But murmurs spread among the crowd and the mourners' blood ran cold when up pulled a big squad car marked Tennessee State Patrol. It was the old man's youngest son, doing 25 to life, for burning down his brother's trailer and running off with his wife. The entire family was divided, held together by a shaky truce, and then a woman yelled, "I still love you, Earl," and all hell broke loose. Brothers, uncles, sisters, cousins, knife and fist fights by the dozens, yelling, spitting, biting, hitting. What a sight to see at the Ducktown knockdown family funeral fight. It started in the afternoon and it lasted half the night. 10 were stabbed, 2 were shot, nobody walked or talked quite right. After the Ducktown knockdown family funeral fight. Well, they called out the county mounties, more highway patrol, and after about an hour or two, they finally regained control. The sheriff said, "This is a disgrace, and I'm hauling you all in, but not until we brought this service to a decent end." So the honor guard stepped forward, fired their rifles in the air. An old lady who was snoozing jumped and fell out of her chair. And as she hit that AstroTurf, you won't believe what happened then. The boy yelled, "Oh, they shot Grandma, and here we go again." Mourners, police, honor guard, relatives from here, near and far, cussing, fussing, biting, hitting. What a sight to see at the Ducktown knockdown family funeral fight. It started in the afternoon and it lasted half the night. 10 were stabbed, 2 were shot, nobody walked or talked quite right. After the Ducktown knockdown family funeral fight, it was a Ducktown knockdown family funeral feud. You can't believe the mayhem and the chaos that ensued. Why, they even shot the sheriff, punched out the preacher's lights. At the Ducktown knockdown knockdown family funeral fight. The Ducktown knockdown family funeral fight. Folks.
I feel funny laughing for that, but
Song.
over that one, but that was funny.
Yeah. Like a funeral I heard about one time, my Uncle Vernon was there, and he, at the end of the service, he popped open a beer.
Uh-oh.
Everybody turns and looks at him. He said, "What?"
Well,
Oh, goodness. Here's one that was written and recorded by Merle Haggard called Mama Tried. The first thing I remember knowing was a lonesome whistle blowing and a youngin's dream of growing up to ride on a freight train leaving town, not knowing where I'm bound. No one could change my mind, but Mama tried. One and only rebel child from a family meek and mild, my mama seemed to know what lay in store. Despite all my Sunday learning, toward the bad I kept on turning, till Mama couldn't hold me anymore. And I turned 21 in prison, doing life without parole. No one could steer me right, but Mama tried. Mama tried to raise me better, but her pleading I denied. That leaves only me to blame, 'cause Mama tried. Dear old daddy, rest his soul, left my mom a heavy load. She tried so very hard to fill his shoes, working hours without rest, wanted me to have the best. She tried to raise me right, but I refused. I turned 21 in prison, doing life without parole. No one could steer me right, but Mama tried. Mama tried to raise me better, but her pleading I denied. That leaves only me to blame, 'cause Mama tried. That leaves only me to blame, 'cause Mama tried.
Pat said, great old song that.
Thank you.
Yes. I like that thing.
Yeah. Merle Haggard. Lost Loretta Lynn.
Yes.
Passed away at the age of 90. The coal miner's daughter.
I didn't realize that she was that old.
Yeah, she is 90 years old.
She didn't look like she had aged a great deal there.
She had a real hard life,
Yes,
you
she
know, until
did.
she hit it big, and then she had a hard life afterwards because
Mm-hmm.
she found out fame wasn't all it's cracked up to be.
What a unique voice
Yeah,
and a
Yeah,
beauty. She
really.
just was great.
she was a wonderful person, a
Yes.
great singer, and she's missed. You know, there's a whole different deal between people like me doing it because they want to, and people like her who started out that way and then wound up doing it because she had to.
There are many artists, I think, that fall into that
Oh,
category.
yeah, I think there are too. But anyway, rest in peace, Loretta.
Yes. Pat said, you have great songs tonight, George.
Thank you, Pat.
Yes.
We try hard. Next show will be on the 22nd. I'll mention this again a little later. And that'll be our annual Halloween show.
Yes.
With all the spooks and goblins and and angry spirits and all of that. We're
Pat said, love it.
gonna drag all of them out.
Oh,
And
yes.
The Thing, and with her head tucked underneath her arm, and all of those
Phantom
favorites.
songs and
Yeah.
ghostly songs and
For me, that one will be an easy one to prepare for because I've played most of them the last two Halloweens.
Pat said, great stuff.
Thank you. Didn't do Halloween the first year. I don't
No, but
remember.
we love it.
Yeah.
Pat said Halloween.
I love Halloween.
Yes, we do.
When I was a kid, on Friday nights, they showed scary movies. 2 of them, a double feature on Channel 10 in Columbus, Ohio. Called it the Chiller Theater. And, oh God, I love those movies. And over the years, I have scoured the internet and downloaded almost all of the movies that I watched when I was a kid. And all through October, I drag them out and watch them again. They're hokey and everything now that I'm all grown up, but it takes me back to a simpler time when I was easy to amaze.
That. Yes, when those days when you're easy to,
right?
When it's easy to be amazed.
This song was written by Gene Autry and Jimmy Long, and sung by Gene Autry and then Doc Watson and a whole bunch of other people. It's called That Silver-Haired Daddy of Mine. In a vine-covered shack in the mountains, bravely fighting the battle of time, there's a dear one who's weathered life's sorrows. He's that silver-haired daddy of mine. If I could recall all the heartaches, dear old daddy, I've caused you to bear. If I could erase those lines from your face and bring back the gold to your hair, if God would but grant me the power just to turn back the pages of time, I'd give all I own if I could but atone to that silver-haired daddy of mine. Many days you have toiled for the family, providing for the needs of our home. And since God called our dear mother to heaven, you've been fighting life's battles alone. If I could recall all the heartache, dear old daddy, I've caused you to bear. If I could erase those lines from your face and bring back the gold to your hair, oh, if God would but grant me the power just to turn back the pages of time, I'd give all I own if I could but atone to that silver-haired daddy of mine. Now I know it's too late, dear old daddy, repay for the heartaches and cares, but dear mother is waiting in heaven. She will cherish and comfort you there. If I could recall all the heartaches, dear old daddy, I caused you to bear. If I could erase those lines from your face and bring back the gold to your hair, if God would but grant me the power just to turn back the pages of time, I'd give all I own if I could but atone to that silver-haired daddy of mine.
Wow. Pat said have it on 8-track tape, but I'm not sure which.
Oh, my.
If it was Halloween that he was.
I think he might be talking about this.
Oh,
You may be the only person of my acquaintance, Pat, who still owns an 8-track player.
oh. You're right. Come to think of it, it's such a common thing from the past. I mean, I still.
Yeah, but
But I'll
it
bet-
was kind of like the CD and all. You know, it was very short-lived. It was great for a while. Everybody wanted them. And then the way they cut the songs up when it changed tracks and all that, and they'd tangle real bad. They had a lot of problems. But
Oh, yeah.
they were the
Goodness.
first real portable players of recordings that would fit in automobiles and stuff.
Yeah.
All right. We're moving right along today.
Yes.
Chris Rodriguez, Lenny Carswell, and Eddie Ahlstrom wrote this one. Joe South recorded it. And it's called Don't It Make You Want to Go Home? Don't it make you want to go home now? Don't it make you want to go home? All God's children get weary when they roam. And don't it make you want to go home? Don't it make you want to go home? Oh, the whippoorwill roosts on the telephone pole while the Georgia sun goes down. Well, it's been a long time, but I'm glad to say that I'm going back to my hometown. Going down to the Greyhound station, gonna buy me a one-way fare. Good Lord's willing and the creeks don't rise, by tomorrow I'll be right there. Don't it make you want to go home now? Don't it make you want to go home? All God's children get weary when they roam. And don't it make you want to go home? Don't it make you want to go home? But there's a 6-lane highway down by the creek where I went skinny dipping as a child, and a drive-in show where the meadow used to grow and the strawberries used to grow wild. There's a drag strip down by the riverside where my grandma's cow used to graze. Now the grass don't grow and the river don't flow like it did in my childhood days. Don't it make you want to go home now? Don't it make you want to go home? Oh, God. God's children get weary when they roam, and don't it make you wanna go home? Tell me, don't it make you wanna go home? Don't it make you wanna go home now? Don't it make you wanna go home? All God's children get weary when they roam, and don't it make you wanna go home? God, how I wanna go home. Don't it make you wanna go home now? Don't it make you wanna go home? All God's children get weary when they roam, and don't it make you wanna go home? Yeah, don't it make you wanna go home? I wanna know, don't it make you wanna go home now? Don't it make you wanna go home? All God's children get weary when they roam, and don't it make you wanna go home? Oh, don't it make you wanna go home?
That's a good one. And Pat said that's right about the 8-track.
Yeah.
That is the case, yes. But I like that song, Don't It Make You Want to Go
Yeah,
Home.
I love that chord progression.
I realize I'm pulling away from my mic a little bit, so I'm going to adjust
Yeah,
that a
don't
little
do
closer.
that.
Don't mean to do it.
Don't
mean to do it.
develop a relationship with your microphone.
Mic's over the...
Well, we hope so.
Yeah, fairly close, but not perfect.
Well, I think we'll just go with.
Okay.
But yeah, that chord progression, you can play it in any key, and it'll just make you want to go.
Oh, yes. Sweet. That's just pretty, especially up in the upper strings, upper register, as they call it.
Here's one that was written and recorded by Ben Colder, who had 3 different personalities. He had Ben Colder, who did parodies of songs as a drunk. Then he played on Rawhide.
He was the scout.
The scout, Pete
Nolan.
Nolan.
And I could not
Yeah.
believe that, because he was one of my favorite characters, that cowboy.
Yeah, and
Pete
then
Nolan on Rawhide.
And then he did some rock and roll songs like the One-Eyed, One-Horn, Flying Purple People Eater, One-Eyed.
No
Hey,
way.
you know what? We ought to do that for Halloween. Put that down.
Okay.
I like that. And
I'm trying to go around my microphone awful funny. There we go.
you wanted to get to it awful bad, and that's just
how
what we
I
did.
did.
Yeah. But anyway, he did another song that I've done a couple of times called That's My Paw. I do quite a bit of his stuff. Anyway, this is one of 2 songs with the same name we're going to do today. This is called Family Tree. The doctor told my Uncle John to quit eating dog food or he wouldn't live long, but he kept eating dog food from the can. Yeah, the doctor was right, because one day he was scratching fleas out in the driveway, and he got run over by the milkman. Doo-doo. There's a bunch of nuts growing on our family tree. Dee-dee-dee-dee-dee. Everybody in the family's nuts, but me. Ooh, oh, yeah. My brother's dumb, but he thinks he's groovy. He took a girl to a drive-in movie, and they were sitting there waiting for the picture show to start. Art. They sat there from 8 to 10, and then she said, "Excuse me, Clem, but what are we doing here in this used car lot?" There's a bunch of nuts growing on our family tree. Dee-dee-dee-dee-dee. Everybody in the family's nuts, but me. Doo-doo. I got a cousin, we call him Ox, and he put a lantern on top of the box. And I asked him what was the purpose of the lantern. Dad burned. He said, so folks can see the box. I said, what's the purpose of the box, Ox? He said, I gotta have some place to put the lantern. There's a bunch of nuts growing on our family tree. Dee, 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 dee. Everybody in the family's nuts but me. Then there was my Uncle Jay. He worked as a waiter in a small cafe, and some folks came in from high society. Dee-dee-dee. This one fat lady who was with the group said, what's that fly doing in my soup? And he said, looks like the backstroke to me. Doo-doo-doo-doo. There's a bunch of nuts growing on our family tree. Dee-dee-dee-dee. Everybody in the family's nuts but me. Oh, oh, dee dee. Well, I gotta go to work now. I'm a part-time brain surgeon, you know. I always did want to be a big operator. Adios there, friends. Hi there, you in the white suit. Well.
One fly doing the backstroke. Yes.
Looks like the backstroke to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well. What do you do? So
Good answer. Good answer.
We had uncles and brothers and cousins and all kind of people in that one.
Yes.
And of course, and family was in the title. So. Okay. Here's one that was written by Tim White and published, recorded on his series of songs called the Possum Tapes. Ivan Stiles turned me on to this song, and several others about possums. 5 pounds of possum in my headlights tonight.
No.
And there's one about a possum that I did a little while ago. Oh, God made a possum. God made the possum. I might do the whole series one of these days. But anyway, this one's called Mama's Not Dead. She's Just Playing Possum. And so am I.
There you go.
Last night Mama called us close to her bedside. She said, children, I'm suffering, I'm tired and I'm weak. In a short while, I'll be called up to heaven. Then Mama closed her eyes and fell fast asleep. We waited all night, but Mama kept breathing. We stood around her bed with tears in our eyes. Then Mama got up in time to cook breakfast. It's hard to be sad, 'cause Mama did not die. Mama's not dead, she's just playing possum. Her soul is at rest in her rocking chair. She's found a new way to get some attention. Mama's not dead, she's just playing possum. Then Mama came down with gallbladder trouble. She thought she heard angels in her hospital room, but it was only the nurse on the intercom system, checking to see if her bedpan needed emptied. Mama's not dead, she's just playing possum. Her soul is at rest in her rocking chair. She's found a new way to get some attention. Mama's not dead, she's just playing possum. Mama's not dead, she's just playing possum.
Seeing new comments again.
Hmm?
Trying to see if there's any new comments.
Yeah, it seems like everybody's... That's fine. I mean, nobody has
Yeah,
to.
but I don't want to miss them.
No. While you're doing that,
Well,
I will mention if we have any newcomers to our virtual back porch, we'd appreciate it if you'd leave a comment. Let us know who
Yes.
you are, where you're from, a little bit about yourselves, and all, so we can visit with you a spell. And if you will follow the Auto Harp Down Home Facebook page, you will be notified for about each of our next upcoming shows. They'll show up, an invitation will show up in your news feed,
yes.
which you can share with everybody, your friends that you think might like to come by and visit with us too and enjoy our music. If you're so inclined and you're new, leave a comment and we'll do our best to read it. We're not the best Facebookers in the world.
No.
And sometimes comments...
Yeah, see, this seems like somebody should go there. Pat was the last person 13, 14 minutes ago.
Yeah.
So if
Okay.
anyone is out there and wants to say something,
And if not, enjoy the music.
yes.
Here's a song that was written by Carl Perkins and recorded by Johnny Cash and the Statler Brothers and probably a host of other folks. It's called Daddy Sang Bass. I remember when I was a lad, times were hard and things were bad, but there's a silver lining behind every cloud. Just four people, that's all we were, trying to make a living out of blackland dirt. But we'd get together in a family circle singing loud. Daddy sang bass, Mama sang tenor, me and little brother would join right in there. Singing seems to help a troubled soul. One of these days, and it won't be long, I'll rejoin them in a song. I'm gonna join the family circle at the throne. Now the circle won't be broken by and by, Lord, by and by. Daddy sing bass, Mom will sing tenor, me and little brother will join right in there. In the sky, Lord, in the sky. I remember after work, Mama would call in all of us. You could hear us singing for a country mile. Now little brother's done gone on, I'll rejoin him in a song. We'll be together again up yonder in a little while. Daddy sang bass, Mama sang tenor, me and little brother would join right in there. 'Cause singing seems to help a troubled soul. One of these days, and it won't be long, I'll rejoin them in a song. I'm gonna join the family circle at the throne. No, the circle won't be broken again by and by, Lord, by and by. Daddy'll sing bass, Mom'll sing tenor, me and little brother will join right in there. In the sky, Lord, in the sky. In the sky, Lord, in the sky.
I like that one. Still no comments.
This, well,
It says 4 viewers,
okay.
3. So that may be part of the.
Yeah.
We just don't have very many folks out today.
Well, I couldn't invite anybody to my event.
I know Facebook is just
Facebook
playing
is
rough
just
with us.
really dicking
Really
with us right
playing
now.
rough. Oh, Hillary says you've gone.
We've
Were we gone? See?
Oh.
Well, how's that?
Are we back, Hillary? I mean, we have to be, or you couldn't comment.
We see that comment.
We saw that one.
Oh, dear.
If anybody else can comment, at least let us know if we're still getting out.
Yeah, we're not sure what's going on.
We don't know what's
again.
going on anymore.
Hillary's the only one, and she said you've gone. I wonder if she means the picture or...
I don't know.
I still see a picture. Flip said you're fine from here. Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh,
Philippa.
good.
Okay. Well,
We will continue then. as
oh,
we
ye
were.
few but faithful. That'll work.
There you go.
Yeah, I usually invite all my friends, and when I got onto the Auto Harp Down homepage and I set up the event.
Ziggy says good reception over here, no problem.
Oh,
Thank
thanks,
you,
Ziggy.
Ziggy. Thank you.
At least it's going up. That's
Yeah.
the main thing. But then when
Ivan, hi friends, I'm seeing you okay.
hello,
Thank you,
Ivan. Thank you. How's Nancy doing?
Oh, yes.
I hope she's doing well. If I understand it right, she had a procedure back last Wednesday. I hope if she indeed did that it
all
came
is
out all
well.
right and
Yes.
everything. But, thanks for joining us, Ivan.
And Flip said no vanishings I've seen.
Okay.
So it's not Halloween yet.
Not quite. No, but we'll do that next time.
The vanishing?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I'm going to try to see what can be done over the next couple of weeks. I've had problems the last couple. The last time they said I was a spammer, and if I didn't quit it, they were going to kick me off of Facebook completely. And
Well, they didn't.
They didn't. But I'm looking real hard for another venue, folks, because this is getting real old real quick.
Well, you can't count on
You
it
can't
being
count
the
on it.
same.
And I get in here this morning at 10 o'clock. I'm ready to, set everything up, and I've got a whole new environment. And I checked it last night because they told me they might do it. I was one of the chosen. So
Ivan says Nancy is faring well, still some pain. She now has a pacemaker and defibrillator. That's good.
yeah, that's good. Well,
Not that she's still having pain.
best
but,
no,
but
that
to
she
have that
has
done,
the equipment.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, our best wishes and thoughts go out to you, Nancy. If you're
Yes.
listening, I hope you get back to normal real soon.
Yes. Feel better than ever.
Indeed, you probably will.
Irregular heartbeat can make you tired,
Yeah, it can.
and it's annoying.
This is a song called In the Middle of the House. It was written by a guy named Bob Hilliard. But the arrangement that I'm going to do is not the arrangement that he did because I can't find it. I have it somewhere in my voluminous hard drives files, but I couldn't find it. So I'll tell you the story of this. A guy was hunting in the mountains, and he didn't bag anything, and he's heading back down out of the mountains, and he came down a different way than he went up. And he passed this old rundown cabin out in the middle of nowhere, and there was an old hound dog laying on the porch, and the dog was just skin and bones. And it started whining and stuff, and making noise. So he tied his horse up, and he went into the house, and there was a body in there of a real old man who just passed away of old age. It was obviously the dog's master. And the dog, he said the dog was looking at me like, can't you do something? And so he made a note of where the place was so that the guy could be given a proper burial. And he took the dog, and he put the dog across his saddle, and he took it back home and nursed him back to health. And he wrote a very slow, sad song about this old prospector and his dog. And like one of the songs I sing, the record company said, "That'll never sell records." Mighty pretty, though. Yeah. Anyway, so they did a different arrangement, which became very popular in 1956. The original was recorded in 1954. This was... wait a minute. This is not... And it was... wow. I have lost track of it here. Let me do another one while I look for it.
I wanted to tell you, Ivan came back with another piece of information here.
Oh, good.
Nancy's heart was working at just 25%. This should be better for her.
Oh, indeed.
Yes, definitely. Better for her.
Oh, that's wonderful. All right. This song, I'm sorry about that. I told that whole story thinking that I was going to do that song, and anyway, I screwed up. This song was written by Bob Hilliard. It was recorded by Rusty Draper in 1956. Milton Berle recorded it. So here it is. It's called "In the Middle of the House." The railroad comes through the middle of the house. The trains all come through the middle of the house. Since the trains all come through the middle of the house. Since the company bought the land, they let us live in the front of the house. They let us live in the back. But there ain't no living in the middle of the house, 'cause that's the railroad track. When a bill collector comes to the house, he knocks and bangs on the door. So we set him right down in the middle of the house, and he never comes back no more. No, he never comes back no more. The railroad comes through the middle of the house. The railroad comes through the middle of the house. It comes and goes through the middle of the house, and the trains are all on time. Here comes the 509. The railroad comes through the middle of the house, in and out of the middle of the house, right smack dab through the middle of the house where the parlor used to be. There's a great big door in the front of the house, a little old door in the back. But we can't have doors in the middle of the house, 'cause that's the railroad track. Now a relative came to visit the house. He liked to scream and fuss, so we sat him right down in the middle of the house, and he never more bothered us. No, he never more bothered us. Oh, the railroad comes through the middle of the house. The railroad comes through the middle of the house. It comes and goes through the middle of the house since the company bought the land. I'm singing this song in the middle of the house. I'm singing the mid.
Oops.
Bad idea.
Bob is here. Bob Hale.
Hey, Bob.
He says, we are watching XXX or XOX.
Thank you.
Yes, it's so good to have you. And Terry Linder.
Hey, Terry.
And she said, hello, my two lovelies, with musical notes and hearts and flowers. And Flip said, definitely better for her. I'm dealing with AFib, and it's pretty annoying. I've had issues occasionally, and it is extremely annoying. And Terry Linder said, I'm already stomping my feet.
Okay.
So good.
Terry does live streams too.
Yeah.
On the and I think most of them are posted among other places to the Periscope Musicians Group, which is all dedicated to online streams. If you're not doing anything, join that group, because if you can't find it, they didn't write it on there. And thanks for coming by, Terry. All right. Here's the other song.
The one you thought you
No, this is the other song named Family Tree.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Remember the family tree with
Yes,
everybody
yes.
in the family's nuts but me?
Yes.
All right. This one, it was written by Tom Chapin, Harry Chapin's
Harry's
brother. Yeah. And it's called Family Tree as well. Tom collaborated with a guy named John Forster on this one, in the writing of it.
Terry said, great shout out for Periscope musicians and friends. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome, Terry. It's a great group. Before the days of Jello lived a prehistoric fellow who loved a maid and courted her beneath a banyan tree. And they had lots of children, and their children all had children, and they kept on having children until one of them was me. We're a family and we're a tree. Our roots go deep down in history. From my great-great-granddaddy reaching up to me, we're a green and growing family tree. My grandpa came from Russia, my grandma came from Prussia. They met in Nova Scotia, had my dad in Tennessee. Then they moved to Yokohama, where daddy met my mama. Her dad's from Alabama and her mom's part Cherokee. We're a family and we're a tree. Our roots go deep down in history. From my great-great-granddaddy reaching up to me, we're a green and growing family tree. Well, one fine day I may go to Tierra del Fuego. Perhaps I'll meet my wife there and we'll move to Timbuktu. And our kid will be bilingual, and though she may stay single, she could, of course, commingle with King of Kathmandu. We're a family and we're a tree. Our roots go deep down in history. From my great-great-granddaddy reaching up to me, we're a green and growing family tree. The folks in Madagascar aren't the same as in Alaska. They got different foods and different moods and different colored skin. You may have a different name, but underneath we're much the same. You're probably my cousin and the whole world is our kin. We're a family and we're a tree. Our roots go deep down in history. My great-great-grandmother reaching up to me, we're a mean and green and growing family tree. We're a green and growing family.
That's a great song.
Yeah.
I like that.
It's a pretty nice day down here. It's,
Yes, it is. Beautiful
little chilly.
fall day.
you know, for down here. But it's a nice day.
I heard this little poem said, summer's okay and spring is nice, but let's skip winter and have autumn twice.
Hear, hear. Of course, the leaves would have to go back on the trees at some point. I don't quite know how that
I
would
don't
work.
know either. Wishful thinking for those who love autumn.
Yeah.
I love the colors.
Boy, you ought to hear Ivan play Autumn Leaves. It's beautiful. And by the way, Ivan's going to be on tomorrow, as far as I know, at 2 o'clock Eastern, as he has been for the past 133 weeks, I believe. Don't miss it. He's great. And he and Nancy do an hour every Sunday.
On his Facebook page, right?
On his Facebook page, just look
Yes,
for Ivan Stiles.
Styles.
In Phoenixville, Pennsylvania, because there are some other Ivan Stiles out there. You'll be glad you did. If you haven't already checked him out, do so. All right, here is a song that was written and recorded by Bill Withers. Bill's kind of a bluesy singer, but I really like his stuff. This one is called Grandma's Hands. Grandma's hands clapped in church on Sunday morning. Grandma's hands played the tambourine so well. Grandma's hands used to issue out a warning. She'd say, Billy, don't you run so fast. Might fall on a piece of glass. Might be snakes there in that grass. Grandma's hands. Grandma's hands soothed a local unwed mother. Grandma's hands used to ache sometimes and swell. Grandma's hands used to lift her face and tell her, she'd say, baby, Grandma understands that you really love that man. Put yourself in Jesus' hands, Grandma's hands. Grandma's hands used to hand me a piece of candy. Grandma's hands picked me up each time I fell. Grandma's hands, boy, they really came in handy. She'd say, Matty, don't you whip that boy. What you want to spank him for? He didn't drop no apple core. But I don't have Grandma anymore. If I get to heaven, I'll look for Grandma's hand.
Wow. Ivan said, my Autumn Leaves is on YouTube, and thanks for the plug.
No, you're welcome. Gotta help everybody out, man. Especially these days when you just can't hardly get a gig.
Well,
gee.
Ivan's show is a real treat.
It is.
So
There's one lady Marty Hudak, who, as far as I know, I don't want to jinx her, but she's attended every single one of them. Here is a song that was written by Don S. Reed and his brother Harold Reed, or anyway, I don't know if they're brothers or what, but they got the same last name. It was recorded by the Statler brothers, and it's called Daddy. His deeds were never published for the public. The things he did were never done for show. His name was never printed in the paper until about 2 days ago. He only filed a short form for his taxes. No one asked him how he felt about the war. He always had a good word for his neighbor. Now his good words won't be heard anymore. And through the rain I heard the choir singing, nearer, my God, to thee. Through the mist I saw some children crying, and I felt nearer, my God, to thee. His table was never full of plenty. His silverware was never the real thing. But the tears on the faces of his family were just as real as if he were a king. Preachers said he's always been a good man, but preachers always throw that phrase around. But the tears I tasted gave those words new meaning, watching old friends put Daddy in the ground. And through the rain I heard the choir singing, nearer, my God, to thee. And through the mist I saw some children crying, and I felt near, my God, to thee. Nearer, my God, to thee. Nearer, my God, to thee. And through my tears I saw some children crying, and I felt near, my God, to thee.
Ivan said Marty missed last Sunday for the first time. She had to attend a shower.
Wow. Yeah, I came in late last Sunday, and I thought maybe she'd checked in before I was out working Indy. Sundays for a while are gonna kind of be hit or miss for me because it's a good time to work on stuff we're having trouble with, because downtown in our little village here, there's no traffic on Sundays.
Right.
So I can work on getting him to follow. Our town is not just not Brian friendly, it's blind hostile. It's just very difficult to travel independently in our little town because there aren't any curbs. most of the roads don't have sidewalks, but then there's parking lots. And rather than putting driveways into the parking lots, why, they just blend them on into the road so you can turn in anywhere you want to. And it makes it almost impossible for the poor dog to follow the edge of the road.
Yeah, which is where
he's supposed to do, and he's starting to get a little demoralized. So on Sundays, we go downtown, try to work through some of that stuff.
And do stuff he does know.
And do stuff that he does know to cheer him up some, because he's still a pup, and I can't let him get discouraged. Anyway.
Anybody would. Ivan said, "You are allowed to have a life and not feel as though you have to watch my concert, George."
Oh, I watch them. I just don't watch them live.
Don't give it a second thought.
Thanks, Ivan. But I don't miss them. I watch them later on. Mm-hmm. They're great. Found a few songs. I loved... and I've heard it several times. You did it last Sunday. The epitaph of Bonnie's epitaph. Oh God, that is funny. And Ivan's version of "My Bonnie Lies Over the Ocean." If you ever get to hear that, and you can hear all of his concerts. They're all out there, just like mine are. Mine are. If you go to Auto Harp Down Home, you can go back and see how I've developed all. Don't listen to the first one; it's terrible. Actually, the second one was the one that was horrible. But anyway,
we had one where the backdrop fell.
Oh yeah, but we had one where we had our volumes too high and it was just all distorted and stuff. We've
I didn't know about that.
We've come a long way, but. Anyway, where are we here? Oh, I know where we are.
That's back when we had a backdrop because we were just trying to get it all figured out.
Yeah, we tried 2 cameras for a while. Well, the first 15 shows or so, Lynn wasn't even on camera.
I wasn't on camera.
She was just a voice out there.
In the night. Well, it was the daytime, but
Yeah.
Imagination.
Yeah. She sat at my work computer, which is clear across the office from us. She'd sit over there to read the comments and everything. And we had cables strung all across the room and everything. The first few we did out in our front room by our front door.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about those.
So it's been an adventure.
Quite a journey.
It really has. And thank you for all the people who have traveled it with us.
Yes. And who have helped, because quite a few folks have.
Yeah, a lot of people have given us good advice and everything.
My brother has stepped in and helped us out a lot, too, with
Brother Dan.
Sound equipment.
With the sound and with the...
with the lighting. We've deviated a little bit from that. We need to get back with him to get reset.
Well, there is a trade-off, folks. I can have wonderful lighting with footlights and everything and not be able to get through the room.
Right.
Or I can have a simpler lighting setup which allows the edges of the room to be free so that I can move around and get where I need to be without taking it down.
Yes.
And we opted for that.
That's right. And Laura Hardin said, "Sorry, I can't watch you live for the next 2 weeks, Ivan. Catch it later." Wow. So she'll be tied up.
All right. I'm going to have the cheek to play a song by the great immortal Brian Bowers. This is called "The View from Home."
I like this one.
It's not the parody. This is the original.
I've heard the original.
Black crow sitting on a red roof, house on a hill. Oh, yellow truck in a driveway, got some miles on her still. Out front the pavement's buckled where the roots have taken hold. To the south lies a mountain of glory to behold. Down on the lake, countless boats are sailing. Up on the shoreline, a single figure runs. And off in the distance, the Cascades ride fiery, burning cold from the setting sun. Up north lies Alaska, our last true frontier. Out west lies the ocean, an Olympic so near. Back east lies madness, say what you will. Say I'm a maniac sitting on a hill. Out on the road, we tell all the turkeys, yes, it's always raining and the sun never shines. But all the native know when the mountain lifts her skirts, the view from home will flat out melt your mind. Black crow sitting on a red roof, house on a hill. Oh, your truck in the driveway got some miles on her still. Out front the pavement's buckled where the roots have taken hold. To the south lies a mountain of glory to behold. To the south lies a mountain of glory to behold.
Wow.
I love that song.
I do too. That's a good one.
Brian is scheduled to be with us at MLAG this year. I hope to meet him. I hope I can get there. There are some real issues that have come up that may prevent that. I hope not, but we'll see. All right, here's one that was written and recorded by Chief Redbud. Chief Greenbud. I'm colorblind. I can't tell right now.
What?
Anyway, it's called Grandma's Getting Into Grandpa's Ganja. Wars have been started over that.
Goodness.
Grandma's getting into Grandpa's ganja. Smoked a little bit of his marijuana. Things just haven't been the same. She just sits around the kitchen, special brownie she's baking. Use the last ounce of Grandpa's Jamaican. But the grandkids don't complain. They don't complain. When I was just a kid, I'd visit on the farm. One morning I followed Grandpa and hid behind the barn. He milked the cows and slopped the hogs. His old muscles ached. Then I saw him pulling out a bowl. Grandpa liked to wake and bake. Just about that time, my grandma stumbled in. Caught him smoking on that bowl. I thought it'd be the end. Then he passed it to her. Caught me by surprise. But I guess that would explain why Grandma's always got bloodshot eyes. Grandma's getting into Grandpa's ganja. Smoked a little bit of his marijuana. Things just haven't been the same. She just sits around the kitchen, special brownie she's baking. Use the last ounce of Grandpa's Jamaican. But the grandkids don't complain. They don't complain. Grandma's getting into Grandpa's ganja. Smoked a little bit of his marijuana. Things just haven't been the same. She just sits around the kitchen, special brownie she's baking. Use the last ounce of Grandpa's Jamaican. But the grandkids don't complain. You'll never hear me complain.
Yeah. Terry said, Linda, fabulous afternoon of tunes again on this beautiful Saturday.
Thank you, Terry.
And
I'm glad the weather's nice down your way.
Yes. And Philip said, a newish favorite with a smile face.
Yeah.
Me too.
Look him up on YouTube, Philippa. You will find a lot of favorites. The guy's very prolific.
What was his name again?
Chief Greenbud.
Chief Greenbud.
Yeah.
Okay.
Go back if you want to hear some more of his stuff done my way.
Oh, she said I did. Smile.
Oh,
face.
you did? Okay.
She apparently already
Kind of
did
figured
do
that.
it.
I did a whole show where I did a lot of his. It was show number 56, I think.
Remember. That's when I remember it, but shouldn't.
Yeah.
It's like, are you sure you were there?
Yeah, it's like the people who say, yeah, man, I remember Woodstock. You weren't there.
Right.
If you remember it, you... I was not there.
No.
And I don't
We
remember.
were never there.
No.
Actually, we weren't.
That's right. Folks, you can still buy a copy of our Forever Friends CD, which came out in June of this year. Was released at the Mountain Laurel Auto Harp Gathering as part of the... I was the recipient of the 2021 recipient of the Cohen Grapple Recording Endowment. We still have a few left. If you want one or you'd like to give one to somebody for Christmas or something like that, go to autoharpdownhome.com and you can pick one up for only $20. And all of the money less whatever it costs me to ship it to you is going to be donated to Southeastern Guide Dogs, the people who trained Indy, the greatest guide dog there is.
Yeah, he is smart, that
he's
boy.
He's wicked smart.
Wicked smart.
He really is. His intelligence borders the German Shepherds I had. And when he gets into a problem, I guess this is kind of weird for people who don't do guide dogs. But,
yeah, but
he'll stop, and I can feel him looking left, right, and I know he's thinking, and I just wait, and pretty soon he figures out what to do. He's great, and you can help train more Indies if you would buy an extra copy, even if you've already got one. Buy a backup. You always want a backup, man. I'm a computer guy. You gotta have a backup, and tell your friends about it if you would. Hope to get a little bit of a sales surge at Christmas. We do have some left, but not a huge amount. Sales have been pretty good. So if you want one, or you want to give someone one, go over there and pick one up.
What's the address again? AutoHarp.
AutoHarpDownHome, all one word, .com.
Yep. Ivan said, a great CD, folks. I really enjoyed every song. If you're a dog lover, this CD is a must for you.
Thanks, Ivan.
Thank you. And he was commenting also back to Laura, said, see you in 3, Laura. And then Philippa said right after that, been having a good time learning from our dispensary, ...
Yes.
So...
Yes, indeed. Here is a song that was written and recorded by a guy who bills himself as Hobo Jim.
Hobo Jim.
He's very famous up in Alaska. He did a song called the Iditarod Trail that I've done a couple of times. And when the Iditarod race ends and they have the victor's banquet, they always get him back to sing the song. He's getting up there in years now. I don't know how much longer he's going to be able to do it. He's kind of like the Jim Neighbors of...
the Indianapolis.
Yeah, Jim always sang Back Home Again in Indiana.
Oh,
Hobo Jim always sings the Iditarod Trail for the winner of the Iditarod sled dog race. Pardon me, but this is another one that he does, and it's called My Grandpa Hunted Coon. was born on a farm with the simple charm of a small Midwestern home, with the rafters hewn of piney wood, the foundation built of stone, and the silo clung to the big red barn. But my favorite memory still were the fields and the streams and the woods and the dreams and the deer running through the hills. And my grandpa hunted coon in the middle of the night, with a pack of dogs a-howling while the moon is shining bright. That's an old family tradition, and it's gonna carry on. And my son'll do the hunting when I'm gone. My son'll do the hunting when I'm gone. In a little country farmhouse, in my childhood memories, my daddy grabbed a rifle and he handed it to me. And I learned that many years before his father had done the same. And the rifle always travels with a name. And the rifle always travels with a name. And my grandpa hunted coon in the middle of the night, with a pack of dogs a-howling while the moon is shining bright. That's an old family tradition, and it's gonna carry on. And my son'll do the hunting when I'm gone. And the son'll do the hunting when I'm gone. Well, I learned to love the wilderness and read her many signs. It was there I took my troubles, for she gave me peace of mind. And then when I grew older, I learned the value of that gun. Wasn't killing but the pleasures of the hunt. Wasn't killing but the pleasures of the hunt. And my grandpa hunted coon in the middle of the night, with a pack of dogs a-howling while the moon is shining bright. That's an old family tradition, and it's gonna carry on. And my son'll do the hunting when I'm gone. My son'll do the hunting when I'm gone.
Yeah. That's a good one.
Yeah, I like it. I don't like the way this auto harp is behaving. I leveled the fine tuners, Ivan, for the first time in my life. Not sure I did it right. Anyway.
Well, we have quite a difference in humidity from what we had a few weeks ago.
Well, that isn't it, though. My fine tuners were getting to like 1 or 2 threads away from the board, and they had to be unscrewed and brought back up. Pete told me to do that, and I did what I thought he meant, and it was very strange. Anyway.
Flip said, I used to hunt coon a bit with friends in Ohio.
Yeah? I never did. I hunted squirrel and rabbits and pheasants. But
I got to hunt squirrel with your dad once or twice.
Yeah.
I was not a person who could hit anything I aimed at, but not enough practice. Flip said used to be a wonderful way to spend the evening. Yes.
Indeed.
Because you do hunt coon at night, don't you?
Yes.
In the
They're a
evening or
nocturnal.
into the
Well,
night.
they're a nocturnal
They're
animal.
Nocturnal without exposure.
You have to hunt them at night because in the daytime they're asleep.
They're sleeping. It doesn't work out too well.
And don't discount the expression meaner than a he coon, because they are, boy. They can. They'll drown a dog.
Yeah.
If they can get a dog out in water, they'll drown the dog. So, yeah, I liked squirrel hunting because you found a place and you settled down where you knew the squirrels were going to be, and the idea was to be real quiet.
Yeah. That's...
And I could hear them, cracking nuts and different things. Dad told me, blowing the hunt a couple of times. He said, "Now listen for this." Yeah, that's right, and all. He said, you point at them when you hear one. When you hear any of these sounds, you point at where you think it is. And we shot a lot of squirrels together that way. And I actually shot a squirrel, but it wasn't fit to eat.
Well,
Because I hit it dead center. I had buckshot all through the thing, but I got me one.
whoa. From sound?
Yeah.
Ivan said, I have a coon I'd like to hunt here. It keeps pulling the fountain/filter out of my fish pond. They are ornery creatures,
Yeah,
I
they
have
are.
heard.
They are.
They do things. They have little hands.
You can get live traps, but then the problem becomes, what do you do after you catch one of them?
Get help. Call the wildlife.
Yeah, the wildlife people do. Yeah, we had squirrels. Speaking of
Oh, goodness.
pestilential animals,
Mm.
we lived in an apartment building. That was one that the guy rented to college students all the time, and squirrels got into our ceiling. And they were running around all in there, and they built a nest, and they hatched out youngins and everything. And you couldn't sleep. Past 4 in the morning, you didn't sleep because they were up there running around and all kind of things. Man, I tried everything. I even whipped up a little phosgene gas and squirted it up in there. And they left for a while, but then they came back. And it drove us nuts. It absolutely drove us nuts, and the landlord didn't give a damn.
Yeah, I don't know if we still...
And I said, look, we got to get up there and put some tin, because what had happened, the fascia boards had rotted out, and they'd gotten
getting
a
in
little
that
hole
way.
in there, and they were getting underneath between the rafters. I said, we got to put a piece of tin across there. And he said, well, George, if you get the piece of tin and you put it up there, I'll come by. If I see it, I'll pay you for it. Figuring, and a lot of people have made this mistake, that because I was blind, I wouldn't be able to get it done.
That it was all talk.
That it was all talk. And I had a guy who had a stepladder, and I had another guy that did sheet metal work that gave me a piece of stainless steel to put up there that he just happened to have left. And I climbed up there, and I nailed... what we did is I climbed up there and put mothballs in the hole.
Right.
Because they can't stand those. And they all left.
They did.
I'd tried it once before and figured that was the end of it. But later on, one of the old sows got in there and just threw them all out, chittering and cursing all the way. But she got rid of all of them, and they all moved back in. So anyway, I put mothballs in there, and they all evacuated, waiting for Mama to get rid of them. But I climbed up there. Mama couldn't get there because I was up there hammering nails, buddy. I sealed it all up.
You did.
Took it around the corner, made a 90-degree bend, and nailed it. And I put nails every 2 inches, by God. And they couldn't get back in. And I heard them up there, trying to peck at it like they'd crack a nut, how they do, and all that. And they're trying to get back in there and trying to get back in there, and they couldn't get back in there. And then one of them came along and just pecked on my window. Like, you son of a
It
bitch!
was like cussing.
Yeah, it was. It was great. But they never came back.
Ivan said, we used to eat squirrel in the Everglades when I went hunting with my dad.
Oh, God, yeah. Squirrel gravy and biscuits is right.
It's
Good chow.
eating. Yeah, if you know somebody who can fix it, it is.
My mama
she
could absolutely cook some game.
And Flip said, we'd take them down the road and drop them off. I think she means the raccoons.
Yeah.
And then she says, when we learned to drop them off past the trash tip, they never came back.
Oh, okay. Well, you hunted them and didn't kill them. That's a lot harder than hunting them and not
that
and
comment
shooting.
got grayed out. I don't know why, but I could still read it. And a smile face after, too.
Coon might be a pejorative. Facebook is.
Oh,
what
for
it
heaven's
is.
sake. She didn't write that, but somebody might think that. But
It's hard
it's
to-
gotten a little bit difficult to navigate that landscape when it comes along.
What happened here?
I don't know what happened.
I don't know.
I think we're still on, but we have...
Yeah. Here's a song. We are, because we're getting comments. which helps us to know that we're out there. Here's a song that was written and recorded by Roger Miller. All right. It's called My Uncle Used to Love Me, But She Died. My uncle used to love me, but she died. Let's try this one more time. My uncle used to love me, but she died. A chicken ain't chicken till he's licking good and fried. Keep on the sunny side. My uncle used to love me, but she died. Who bid me quarter 30 cents for a ring of keys, $3.65 for a dollar bill of groceries. I'll have me a car of my own someday, but till then I need a ride. My uncle used to love me, but she died. My uncle used to love me, but she died. A chicken ain't chicken till he's licking good and fried. Keep on the sunny side. My uncle used to love me, but she died. Hamburger, cup of coffee, lettuce, and tomato. 2 times a time to see a man kiss the alligator. 1 more time around on the free Ferris wheel ride. My uncle used to love me, but she died. My uncle used to love me, but she died. A chicken ain't chicken till he's licking good and fried. Keep on the sunny side. My uncle used to love me, but she died. Apples are for eating and snakes are for hissing. I learned about a hugging and I've heard about a kissing. I read about it free in a 50-cent illustrated guide. My uncle used to love me, but she died. My uncle used to love me, but she died. The chicken ain't chicken till he's licking good and fried. Keep on the sunny side. My uncle used to love me, but she died. My uncle used to love me, but she died. The chicken ain't chicken till he's licking good and fried. Keep on the sunny side. My uncle used to love me, but she died.
Wow.
Now, if you can figure out what that's about, you're a better person, don't want to be sexist here, than I am.
Yes, well. It's a lively song.
Yeah, it is. It's very weird. It's kind of like, you can't roller skate in a buffalo herd.
Oh, there's another
Roger
good
had a
one.
weird sense of humor. But he made a lot of money.
Ivan said, I truly believe this is the most convolute song I've ever heard.
Yeah.
I think.
I will look through my archives, Ivan. I'll bet I can find one.
He meant that's convoluted.
Yeah,
I thought
know
you
what he
did,
meant.
but I didn't.
Yeah.
I didn't say it
All right.
right.
This is the song that I was talking about before.
Oh.
About the old hound dog and the guy that found him and wrote the song. And if you weren't there when it was discussed, you missed it.
Well.
Anyway,
Oh, Flip said, I'm my own grandpa with a smile face. That's another one.
yeah, Ivan does that.
Does he?
Yeah, Ivan does that one. He's done it on his show and a couple of
missed
song circles that I've been involved in. So he does that. He does Darcy Farrow too. Does a real good job with it.
That one's so pretty.
Yeah. Anyway, this song was written by a guy who was hunting, and he rode down out of the mountains and past this old shack, and there was a dog on the front porch, and it started whining and barking. And he got down to see what the problem was, and inside, the dog's master had passed away of old age. And he wrote a song in 1954 about that, and it was a very sad song, and the recording people said that'll never sell, so they made it lively, and Stuart Hamlin recorded it. It's called "This Old House." This old house once knew my children. This old house once knew my wife. This old house was home and comfort as we fought the storms of life. This old house once rang with laughter. This old house heard many shouts. Now she trembles in the darkness when the lightning walks about. Ain't gonna need this house no longer, ain't gonna need this house no more. Ain't got time to fix the shingles, ain't got time to fix the floor. Ain't got time to oil the hinges, nor to mend no window pane. Ain't gonna need this house no longer, I'm getting ready to meet the saints. This old house is a-getting shaky. This old house is a-getting old. This old house lets in the rain. This old house lets in the cold. Oh, my knees are getting chilly, but I feel no fear or pain, because I see an angel peeking through a broken window pane. Ain't gonna need this house no longer, ain't gonna need this house no more. Ain't got time to fix the shingles, ain't got time to fix the floor. Ain't got time to oil the hinges, nor to mend a window pane. Ain't gonna need this house no longer, I'm getting ready to meet the saints. This old house is afraid of thunder. This old house is afraid of storms. This old house just groans and trembles when the night wind flings its arms. This old house is getting feeble. This old house is needing paint. Just like me, it's tuckered out, but I'm getting ready to meet the saints. Ain't gonna need this house no longer, ain't gonna need this house no more. Ain't got time to fix the shingles, ain't got time to fix the floor. Ain't got time to oil the hinges, nor to mend no window pane. Ain't gonna need this house no longer, I'm getting ready to meet the saints. Now my old hound dog lays a-sleeping, he don't know I'm gonna leave. Else he'd wake up by the fireplace, sit there and howl and breathe. But my hunting days are over, ain't gonna hunt that coon no more. Gabriel done brought in my chariot when the wind blew down the door. Ain't gonna need this house no longer, ain't gonna need this house no more. Ain't got time to fix the shingles, ain't got time to fix the floor. Ain't got time to oil the hinges, nor to mend no window pane. Ain't gonna need this house no longer, I'm getting ready to meet the saints. Ready to meet the saints.
Hey. Pat said, "You take me back, George."
Thanks, Pat.
And then he said, "Great stuff." And then Cliff Richard, he said.
Cliff Richard. Write that down. I'll look at it.
Was the singer, is what he meant, of that song.
That could be. I thought it was Stuart Hamblin, but he may have been the guy who wrote it. I'll have to look at that.
I'm writing both names down.
Thank you, Pat. I will look that up, and if I've got it wrong, I'll correct it in my database.
We are at 2:44.
I was just going to ask.
Well,
I didn't think we'd be on this late. To be honest with you. Here is this song. Was written by Ned Miller and was recorded in 1965 by Ned Miller. It's called "Do What You Do, Do Well." He couldn't move a mountain or pull down a big old tree, but my daddy became a mighty big man with a simple philosophy. Do what you do, do well, boy. Do what you do, do well. Give your love your heart and do what you do well. Sometimes he'd kiss my mother and hold her tenderly. Then he'd look across the top of his head and he'd wink and say to me, do what you do well, boy. Do what you do well. Give your love and all your heart and do what you do well. Well, he was a man of laughter, but if tragedy came by, the tears ran free and he said to me, never be afraid to cry. Do what you do well, boy. Do what you do well. Give your love and all your heart and do what you do well. Today I still remember, just like yesterday, about a mighty big man with a mighty big heart and a mighty few words to say. Do what you do well, boy. Do what you do well. Give your love and all your heart and do what you do well. Do what you do well.
Yay, that's good advice. That's a great song.
Yeah.
Pat said that too, another great song. And he also said, no problem, you are welcome, on your response about the singer. And then Ziggy came on and said, Cliff Richard was and still is very famous in Europe, but possibly not so in the U.S. So I'm not familiar with Cliff.
I'm not either, but I'm going to look into it.
Yeah.
I always look for new people to steal songs from. So. Here's one I stole from John Prine that I played almost from the beginning of my auto harp career. Philippa will remember this one. Oh, Grandpa wore his suit to dinner nearly every day. No particular reason, he just dressed that way. Round necktie and matching vest, clothes of plaintive shoes. Built a closet on our back porch, put a penny in a burned-out fuse. Grandpa was a carpenter, he built houses, stores, and banks. Chain-smoked Camel cigarettes, and he hammered nails in planks. He was level on the level, shaped even every door, and he voted for Eisenhower, 'cause Lincoln won the war. He used to sing me blood on the saddle, rock me on his knee, let me listen to the radio before we got TV. He'd drive to church on Sunday, and he'd take me with him too. Stained glass in every window, hearing aids in every pew. Grandpa was a carpenter, he built houses, stores, and banks. He chain-smoked Camel cigarettes, and he hammered nails in planks. He was level on the level, shaped even every door, and he voted for Eisenhower, 'cause Lincoln won the war. Now Grandma was a teacher, went to school in Bowling Green, traded in a milking cow for a Singer sewing machine. She called her husband Mister, and she walked real tall in pride, and she used to buy me comic books after Grandpa died. Grandpa was a carpenter, he built houses, stores, and banks. He chain-smoked Camel cigarettes, and he hammered nails in planks. He was level on the level, shaped even every door, and he voted for Eisenhower, 'cause Lincoln won the war.
Love it. Laura was saying, is this the same Ed Miller who wrote The Exile?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
You might make a note of that. I really don't know. It's the only hit in the country realm that I know of by him. And I remember hearing it. It came out when I was like 13 years old. And I loved it back then. And then I found it again just a few years ago. And then I could play it. When I was 13, I was still playing harmonicas and recorders and
You played the guitar a
melodicas
little bit?
and all. I hadn't gotten to the guitar yet.
We hadn't gotten to
No.
the guitar.
I was in a area where I wanted to play folk music and all, but the only instruments I had available, and my family didn't have any money, were cheap wind instruments. So here is a song written by Aaron Tippin and William Brock, and was recorded by Aaron Tippin. And it's called You've Got to Stand for Something. And I wish people would stand for something now, but that never
Wish a
mind.
lot of people could hear it, but yeah. Those who need to. Not everybody.
Now, Daddy didn't like trouble, but if it came along, everyone that knew him knew which side that he'd be on. He never was a hero or this county's shining light, but you could always find him standing up for what he thought was right. He'd say, you've got to stand for something or you fall for anything. You've got to be your own man, not a puppet on a string. Never compromise what's right and uphold your family name. You've got to stand for something or you'll fall for anything. Now we might have been better off Rome. Now we might have been better off Rome's bigger house. If Daddy'd done more giving or a little more backing down. But we always had plenty, just living his advice. Whatever you do today, you'll have to sleep with tonight. He'd say, you've got to stand for something or you'll fall for anything. You've got to be your own man, not a puppet on a string. Never compromise what's right and uphold your family name. You've got to stand for something or you'll fall for anything. I know that things are different than they were in Daddy's day, but I still believe what makes a man really hasn't changed. You've got to stand for something or you'll fall for anything. You've got to be your own man, not a puppet on a string. Never compromise what's right and uphold your family name. You've got to stand for something or you'll fall for anything. You've got to stand for something or you'll fall for anything.
Ziggy put up a link to Wikipedia and Cliff Richard and a picture.
Oh, thank you,
So,
Ziggy.
yes, thank you very much. You can click on that and go
Yeah.
to Wikipedia.
We appreciate that. I got to learn how to do that. But I can't escape the thought that as soon as I learn how, they'll change the interface.
Change it again. You know they will.
And that's hard for me. It just is. I'm not whining, by the way. It's just the way it is.
It is 2:55. You like to let me know when we get up to that point.
Yeah, I have 3 songs to go,
Okay.
so we'll be close.
Yes. Good.
I thought we'd run out before we ran out of time, but
No, it
people
looks
came
good.
in and held up their end of the show and gave us some comments and stuff. I appreciate it, folks,
Very much.
because I
very
wasn't
much.
sure we were even going on there for a little while. But it's great to know that I kept you so enthralled that you couldn't even leave a comment.
There, yes. Well, we'd go on and play anyway, wouldn't we?
Yeah, we would. I'll play even
Other
nobody's
people-
watching.
That's right.
Well,
We'd have a good
the
time.
first few of these we did, almost nobody was watching except for our family.
There you
So,
go.
Anyway, this is
We
called.
appreciate every
This is
one of
called
you.
"Come Along Home Now," Tom's song. I don't know who wrote it, but the Chad Mitchell Trio recorded it back in 1965 or so. Let's see. Come along, won't you come along home now? Night is falling and the path is steep. Come along, won't you come along home now? Water's running and the river is deep. Last night I heard a sweet voice calling. Come along, won't you come along home? Wind on the river and the paths are falling. Come along, won't you come along home? Come along, won't you come along home now? Night is falling and the path is deep. Come along, won't you come along home now? Water's running and the river is deep. Wind goes fresh and the trees are sighing. Come along, won't you come along home? Somebody's born and somebody's dying. Come along, won't you come along home? Come along, won't you come along home now? Night is falling and the path is steep. Come along, won't you come along home now? Water's running and the river is deep. Every night the voice gets bolder. Come along, won't you come along home? Song gets sweeter as I grow older. Come along, won't you come along home? Come along, won't you come along home now? Night is falling and the path is steep. Come along, won't you come along home now? Water's running and the river is deep.
Wow.
This song was written and recorded by Steve Goodman, a man who passed away way too soon. I love his music. He wrote things like The City of New Orleans that even Arlo Guthrie borrowed. He wrote Don't Do Me Any Favors Anymore.
That's another good one.
And What Have You Done For Me Lately? A Dying Cub Fan's Last Request. He wrote a lot of songs. This one is entitled My Old Man. I wish my old... I miss... Let's start over here. Just because... Something was going on outside, folks, just to
Yes,
let
it's
you know.
distracting
And it's
me
distracting.
too. It's noisy
Yeah,
machine of
it's
some
like
sort.
a bulldozer or something out there.
Yeah.
I hope they're not tearing down the woods.
I can't.
I miss my old man tonight. look you in the eye and sell you a car. That's not an easy thing to do, but no one ever knew a more charming creature on this earth than my old man. He was a pilot in the big war, in the U.S. Army Air Corps, in a C-47 with a heavy load, combat cargo for the Burma Road. And after they dropped the bomb, he came home and married Mom. And not long after that, he was my old man. And oh, the fights we had when my brother and I got him mad. He'd get all boiled up and he'd start to shout. I knew I was coming, so I tuned him out. Now the old man's gone, and I give all I own to hear what he said when I wasn't listening to my old man. I miss the old man tonight, and I can almost see his face. He was always trying to watch his weight, but his heart only made it to 58. For the first time since he died, late last night I cried. I wonder when I was going to do that for my old man.
Wow. I like that song.
All right. Our last song was written by Sid Temper and Roy Bennett. It was recorded by the Ames Brothers in 1955. I heard this song. My grandparents bought us a 45 RPM record player. It was a little cube, and it had the big spindle in the middle, with the big donut holes, and you could put 10 or 12 records on it.
Oh, yeah.
And it would play them all. And this was one of the records that they bought me. And pardon me, why they bought it for me when I was 6 or 7 years old is beyond me, but the Ames Brothers recorded it in 55, and it's called The Naughty Lady of Shady Lane. The naughty lady of Shady Lane has hit the town like a bomb. The back fence gossip ain't been this good since Mabel ran off with Tom. Our town was peaceful and quiet before she came on the scene. The lady has started a riot disturbing the suburban routine. The naughty lady of Shady Lane has the town in a whirl. The naughty lady of Shady Lane. Me, oh my, oh what a girl. You should see how she carries on with her admirers galore. She must be giving them quite a thrill, the way they flock to her door. She throws those come hither glances at every Tom, Dick, and Joe. When offered some liquid refreshment, the lady never says no. The naughty lady of Shady Lane has the town in a whirl. The naughty lady of Shady Lane. Me, oh my, oh what a girl. They're trying to pin on her won't hold much water, I'm sure. Beneath the powder and fancy lace, there beats a heart sweet and pure. She just needs someone to change her, and she'll be nice as can be. If you're in the neighborhood, stranger, you're welcome to drop in and see the naughty lady of Shady Lane. So delightful to hold, the naughty lady of Shady Lane. She is so delectable, quite respectable, and she's only 9 days old. It's one of those. I love songs like that.
I do too.
You think, oh man, and it's something totally different. Well, folks,
I have a few comments.
Oh, good.
Terry said, "Goodness, George, beautiful but sad. Love it on the song before."
Oh yeah,
and
that's
applause
tearjerker
hands
for sure.
It was about that.
My old man.
My old man. And Ziggy said, "Thanks, George, for excellent singing and playing and great entertainment and information." Heart, smiley face.
Thank you, Ziggy.
And he said, "And thanks, Lynn, for support and communication."
Couldn't do it without her.
And there's a heart, and it says, "See more." And by the way, your auto harp sounds great, an amazingly full sound.
Yeah, this thing has really come into its own over the summer. And I think it's only going to get richer as it ages.
This is the Tahoma.
This is the Tahoma from Pete Daigle. If you're an auto harpist and you want an inexpensive luthier auto harp, get this one.
Yes.
Now this is not the way it's usually built. It usually has the bars over here like a regular auto harp, but Pete graciously agreed to. He suggested it even.
So you could try this.
So that I could try it without crossing my hands. And it drove me nuts for a while, but I've got it now, man, and I don't play anything else. I've got 5 or 6 other auto harps, including the one I won at MLAG, and I don't play them. I play this one. I'm going to get Greg to modify that diatonic so I can play fiddle tunes and stuff. But
Ivan said, "Thanks, George and Lynn, for a very enjoyable
you're welcome,
afternoon
Ivan.
concert. I hope
we'll
to
see you later
tonight
on.
at
Yep.
Libby's Song
Yeah, I'll
Circle."
be there.
And Philippa said, "Good seeing you again," with a big smile face. And
Yeah.
you too. We're so very grateful, and we enjoy having you guys come by. It's so much fun.
If you,
it's a great time for us.
It is. It
to
is
spend
indeed.
time with you guys.
And if you can spare a buck or two to put into our tip jar, there's a donation link on autoharpdownhome.com that will send you to our PayPal. or you can put in autoharp.down.home in the PayPal edit box for the person. Trying to get enough money together to go to MLAG. I'm supposed to do a concert, and I got to be there to get it, to do it.
Yeah.
So we're really, we'd appreciate it if you could spare a buck or two, and if you can't, we love you anyway. Come on back.
Of course.
You betcha. And check out
Everyone's
Ivan.
welcome.
Check out Terry.
Oh, yes.
And we will see you in 2 weeks with our Halloween Spooktacular.
Yes.
Now it's time to say goodbye to George and all his kin. We'd sure like to thank you folks for kindly dropping in. You're all invited back again to this locality to have a heaping helping of our hospitality. Down home style, that is. Set a spell. Take your shoes off. Y'all come back now, here.
And Terry said thank you, too.
Oh, you're welcome, Terry.